fellas.
Roy Rogers!
Say, that's a pretty tricky hat, isn't it? Partners, how would you like to surprise your pals like that? Well, you can with my new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat. It's by Ideal. And here's how the Quick Shooter hat works. Just press this secret button right here, and a replica of an authentic Western pistol pops out and fires. It's your secret weapon, even when they think you're unarmed. So get Ideal's new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat at your favorite store today, and you'll always be ready for anything. Ask for Ideal's new Roy Rogers Quick Shooter hat.
Howdy, boys.
Howdy, cowboy. Where you been?
Been out in the great state of California, out in Los Angeles.
What Hollywood on us?
Good Lord. What are you wearing?
Well, I figured you guys might not appreciate this shirt as much as I do, but I got this while I was out in Los Angeles. Guns on the table, kid?
Yep, guns on the table.
Now, before you all make too much fun of me, boys, do anybody recognize who this might be on my shirt?
That's Roy Rogers from underneath the California stars.
That is Roy Rogers. Look what I got here, boys. I brought these out for you. This is the reason I had to go out to Los Angeles.
Hey, look, it's
Look at this.
on the back of it. It's that shirt.
It is. If you look on the back of this, this is a Post Toasty Flakes box with a special contest on it that says, win this authentic, real Roy Rogers shirt. Look at that.
Hey, cowboy, did you win?
I certainly did. Look at that, folks. I won this shirt and had to go all the way out to Los Angeles to get it. And I got to meet Mr. Roy Rogers, got to shake his hand. This is a very special episode of Draw Western Theater, because today we're going to talk about none other than the king of the Cowboys, Mr. Roy Rogers. We're going to get into some of his early career and how he got started. And so join us on
Draw Western Theater.
Deal me in there, Wardell.
That does it, boys.
You okay?
Sure, Well, that's another picture in the bag. When are you leaving?
Right away. I'm making my 10th anniversary broadcast from the ranch.
Roy, you can be mighty proud of your 10 years in pictures. You've made millions of friends all over the world.
Hey, Roy, sing Dust, that song you sang in your first picture. You know, we haven't heard that in a long time.
Okay, Joe, I'll remember.
Well, good luck and have a nice trip. We'll all be listening to your broadcast, Roy.
Thanks, Paul.
You bet.
Take her easy, boys. We'll see you.
So long, Roy.
So long, Roy.
Hey, Cookie! Hey, Bob! Hey, fellas, I saw him coming. He's coming down the road. Come on.
It's Roy!
Yeah, I'll do it.
Come on!
Yeah.
Wonder if Roy and Trigger have changed since they got to be movie stars.
Not Roy. He'll always be the same old horse wrangler.
All you loyal subjects, 'tis the time to bow your heads and pay homage to the king who's come to greet us.
Here, here.
Righto. I'm all a twitter and a flutter. My little knees are just like butter. To think the mighty king would stoop to meet us.
Huh?
Let's hail the conquering hero, for it's time he did appear. And with reverence, we proudly say, long live the king. He's here. He's rootin' tootin' Rogers, the king of the cowboys, the bravest man upon the silver screen. Whenever there is trouble, there comes Trigger on the double to lick the villain and to steal the scene. He's got a way with women too, how they cuddle up to him when the director tells them to. He's rootin' tootin' Rogers, the king of the cowboys, the bravest, fightin'est, sandest, fightin'est, strongest, roughest, and the toughest. Let me mention he's a singing'est too. But is he the same old Roy that we once knew?
Hi, fellas.
Hello, Roy.
Some of you boys take Trigger out of the trailer. Put the car in the garage.
Okay.
Oh, you might as well saddle him up. We'd like to kind of stretch our legs a little bit.
All right.
Oh. Now, go on. Get away. You can meet Roy Rogers later. Go on now.
Who was it, Cookie?
Huh? Oh, nobody, Roy, nobody. Well, we sure have missed you around here, too, Roy. You'll just never know how we... Oh. Roy, that's just some extra help that I hired so cheap I couldn't afford not to, really.
Well, they're certainly well fed.
Yeah, they're great big... Oh. Hello, Mr. Rogers. Cookie promised to introduce us after we took our naps. Didn't you, Cousin Cookie?
Cousin Cookie, huh?
I guess I can't deny him, Roy. It runs in the family. That's Alf and Luke and Grover Bullfincher.
Cookie, if you don't quit hiring your relatives,
Well, Roy, after their mama died and
we'll
Luke...
never be able to feed your...
I know.
By the way, Cookie, did you ever hire that horse trainer I asked you about?
Huh? Oh, well, yeah, you know, Roy, now that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. It was... Well, look at there. There's old Bob.
Hey, that bunch that's been rounding up range horses is over in the north pasture.
Oh,
Who is it, Cookie?
oh, some strangers butchering up them range horses for meat and hides.
That's what happened to the buffaloes.
Yeah, but this is legal and it's hurting our army contract.
It isn't legal if it's on our range.
We better get over and see that there's no double R horses in that bunch. Thanks, cousin. what's going on here?
Running wild horses if it's any of your business.
Get up.
Well, well, I might have known. Roy Rogers, the movie cowboy.
Yeah, get up.
Pretty brave with all your friends backing you up.
Hold it. Stay on your horses. I'll see that this is on the up and up. Tough movie cowboy. Tough horse killer. Come on, Roy.
Who are those fellas?
I don't know.
I didn't find any horses up the drawer you sent me.
All right, but be quiet. That dog barks, I'll...
He won't, Lige. I promise he won't.
Come on, Roy.
There, boy. That'll teach Ed.
What side you on?
Okay, he's had enough, Roy. Come on, get up.
All right, clear out of here.
Anybody can catch wild horses on open range.
Not the way you're doing it.
Go on now, get on. I got some work to do.
Take it easy, fella. You're not hurt so bad. Come on now, on your feet. Lead the rest of your pals back out on the range. Come on, fella.
Took a licking. That's Roy Rogers and Trigger. I read in a movie magazine that Roy would sell him for $1 million.
Yeah, I know that. Get on your horse. Yeah, Trigger. Gotta have a little talk with Pop.
Welcome back to Draw Western Theater. Today we're talking about Roy Rogers.
Well, boys, that's a little bit better. I mean, it's not perfect, and I don't want to hide my winning shirt. You know this is a major award.
Well, at least that scarf will cover some of it.
Finally, he wins something.
Well, boys, Roy was born Leonard Franklin Sly in Cincinnati, Ohio. His mother's name was Maddie, and his father's name was Andrew. They called him Andy. He was born in Cincinnati in a tenement around 2nd Street.
Yeah, that's, interesting enough, that was, Roy used to like to joke about he was born around second base, which he was talking about, of course, Riverfront Stadium.
Well, I didn't think about that. That's where the stadium is now, isn't it?
Right, their home was right around where old Riverfront Stadium used to be.
Well, him and his Uncle Will, his dad and his Uncle Will decided that there wasn't much there for them in Cincinnati at that time, so they decided to move on downriver. And so they built a houseboat. They built their own houseboat. Can you imagine that today? So they built their own houseboat and decided to go down the river to find better, greener pastures. They ended up in Portsmouth, Ohio. and they were going to build a house in Portsmouth. But nature had different plans. The Great Flood of 1913 lifted the houseboat up and set it right on the shore. And they decided, we'll stay here. We'll stay here. It looks pretty good right here. So they took that houseboat and they turned it into an actual house. And that's where they ended up living. But his dad thought he would become a farmer. They decided they were going to be able to live off the land, but his father realized that wasn't a very good idea at that time. After just a few months, he decided it'd be better to get a job back in Portsmouth, so he went to work at a shoe factory.
Shoe factory, right. There wasn't any electricity in the house, so they were without electric. So for entertainment on the weekends, Roy's sister would invite the neighbors over for like dancing and music, and that's where Roy learned to yodel and to do square dance calls.
He also, I mean, didn't he play the mandolin?
Yeah.
You're right.
But can you imagine, they didn't have electricity, they didn't even have a radio. At that time, most of the people in the country, their only means of entertainment back out in the rural area was radio.
And board games.
And board games, and they didn't even have those to go by. So that's where Roy first got his taste of performing in front of people, I guess. And but, you know, even then they decided that they needed something else to do, so Roy decided to go take a job there at the same shoe factory as his father. Now, eventually, his sister Mary married a guy, and they moved out to California.
Here I come.
California, here I come.
California Stars.
And so then what they did was they decided they were going to go out there and they were going to see what the opportunities lied in California. So Roy and his family and his father and everything, they picked up, they went and visited Mary for 4 months. After 4 months, they decided it wasn't for them, so they came back to Ohio. But Roy had seen the big city, or I should say Leonard had seen the big city, so he went back out to California. But let's get to our movie, folks, and we're going to talk to you and tell you what happens next in the story of Leonard Franklin Sly on his way to becoming the legendary
Roy Rogers.
The king of the Cowboys. Thanks for joining us right here on Draw Western Theater. Let's play some cards.
How many cards you boys need?
Just hearing a cowboy busting a bronc and I can't find a darn thing.
Well, Pop, we lost the herd. Rogers and his gang from the Double R Ranch jumped us. Yeah, and he gave you a nice lesson in the manly art of self-defense, too. Where were you? Just watching. Boy, you were a sucker for those laughs.
Yes, sir, we could use that money, too. Yeah, now, fellers.
Hey, you're getting awful touchy. Well, I'm sore. Where were you when I was taking that beating?
Yeah.
If we lose that herd, the hide contract is gone, and so is the money. Oh, take it easy. We're going to do something about it. But what about the horses? We'd better round them up before Rogers gets everybody thinking his way and they run us out. Range horses? Well, that's just chicken feed. What I'm thinking about now is one horse. Yeah, but Rogers.
Roy Rogers.
And the smartest horse in pictures. Say.
Get that flea-bitten Australian coyote out of here.
Tramp, come here.
Haven't I told you not to come in here when we're busy?
I know, but it's way past lunchtime and I'm hungry.
Here, get yourself something to eat.
Thanks. Come on, Tramp.
Here, come back here with that. That dog steals everything around here. I can't even find my no-sale stamp anymore.
Let me handle this. Told you before, take him out and get rid of him before I do it for you.
But I'll break him of stealing, Lige. He'll learn.
So take him out and get rid of him.
Sure, Lige, sure.
Between that dog and that stepson of yours, my patience is wearing out.
Now, don't worry about him. I'm shipping him off pronto. I hope he didn't hear that crack about Trigger.
Well, Junior, you look nice enough to go to church. You're growing out of all your clothes.
You got the place looking good, Cookie.
Help!
Hey, what's that?
You monster! Oh, that monster!
She must have seen another mouse.
Well, who is she?
Well, now you see, Roy, that's what I was gonna...
Help!
I'd better help you.
Don't tell me that means this is another cousin of yours.
Yeah, Roy, she's a new horse trainer. I had to hire her. You see, Aunt Clara and Uncle Otto got married right after the First World War, and they had 7 kids. And
Cousin Cookie, I'm sorry. It was another mouse.
yeah, I thought it was. Carolyn, meet your boss, Roy Rogers.
Yeah. Roy Rogers. Oh!
Not again.
Wake up. But it's the first time she ever seen a movie star.
I can sure tell she's your relation. She weighs a ton.
Oh, she ain't so big.
How old did you say she was?
Well, now, let's see. When I left... Oh, no, I don't rightly remember, Roy.
Well, you know how we tell the ages of horses, don't you?
You mean look at her teeth?
Right.
No! I can't imagine her being afraid of a mouse. Why, a bullfincher ain't afraid of anything on 4 legs. It is! It is! Whoa! It is! Look! It's a mouse! Ah! Cousin Cookie! I found them. They're all in the barn asleep. Oh, they are they? I'll take care of that.
A cowboy and a coyote way out on the western prairie. The cowboy sat a-smoking and dreaming about his Mary. The coyote started howling with his nose pointing to the moon. For a while the cowboy listened, then I heard him sing this tune. You're a nice little coyote, you prowl around and howl around the moon all night. You're a sharp little feller, you beller out and yell about until the light. And you always sound so lonesome, it makes me a little bit blue. But I ain't got time for prowling, or I do a little howling too. Go away, little critter, you yelping ain't a helping me to hit the sack. Get along, little varmint, I'll pick me up a stick and up and whack your back. If you don't cut out that yapping, how can I get any napping done? So go easy on the screaming while I do a little dreaming about my only one. Let me dream about my only one.
All right, break it up, you guys. You too, Trigger.
Oh, I was winning.
Oh, no wonder you're winning. Trigger standing there telling you what to play.
Hey, what's going on here? Come out from under there.
Well, get the jackpot.
Friend of yours, fellas?
No. I have no relative of mine either.
Are you sure?
Well,
What's your name, son?
I'm Ted Conover, and this is Tramp.
Well, hi, Ted.
Oh.
Hi, Tramp.
I came here on a business deal. I'm sorry you caught me this way, Mr. Rogers.
Business deal? Do you generally go around making business deals in one boot?
Oh, no. I just listened to the song when Tramp took it. He's always doing things like that.
What's the matter, son? Did you hurt yourself?
No, not lately. A horse kicked me 2 years ago. Doc Richard said I needed an operation. Light said my leg will have to get well by itself.
Where do you live?
Well, right now I'm found a place I liked and got a job.
That sounds to me like a hint.
Well, I thought Mr. Rogers might need an assistant. Somebody has to shine his guns.
So that's the business deal. Well, I think maybe we could use another hand in his dog. Thanks, Tramp. That is, if he isn't running away from home.
How about it, fellas?
Why, sure. Who is this Lige fellow you spoke about?
Well, he's my stepfather. He works for Mr. Jordan down Saddleback, catching wild horses. But he won't mind.
Well, I'll phone down and see what I can find out. In the meantime, how about some chow, Carolyn?
Okay. Ted, you better come along with me. You could stand a little... Well, you know what they say about cleanliness.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Rogers.
Well, now that you're working for me, just call me Roy.
You call me Ted.
That's a deal.
Come on, Tramp. Maybe we can even find a bone for Tramp.
Hello? Hey, Lige. Well, Roy, it's like old times hearing your voice again. Rogers. Who? Ted. Well, now ain't that just like a kid? His step-pop's Lige McFarland works for me. Yeah. No, he ain't right now. I'll sure tell him when he comes in. Well, thanks for calling. Goodbye. That kid of yours up to Rogers Ranch, asking for a job.
Well, that's the last time you'll pull that trick. I'll go up and get him and give him the tanning he'll never forget.
Just a minute, Lige. You ain't telling nobody. We want him to get that job. Whether you know it or not, the boy's just done us a big favor.
Yeah. Maybe he can help us on that Palomino horse trading deal we're thinking about.
That's right.
Do you even know who Roy Rogers is?
No, but my papa loves Roy Wardells.
Well, that's, yeah, you know what? There's a certain age kids that grew up with him.
Everybody knew him.
Everybody knew him. There was a certain demographic of a certain age right now that watched him almost every time he came on. You couldn't miss him. He was everywhere. But right now we're talking about him being in California at the age of 19. He just returned out there.
He just got back to California, and he was living with his sister at the time, and not doing anything a lot.
Wasn't she the one who got him the radio station gig?
She was the one that suggested he try out for the Midnight Frolic. Which was a radio program that was
out of Inglewood.
I think it was on Inglewood, and their station was
KMCS.
KMCS, right?
Inglewood.
So she encouraged him to try out for the radio show. So Roy was very shy, so he had to overcome his shyness. But once he did that, he went and tried out for the show. They took him right away.
Now remember, didn't she even the way she made him a shirt? That way, she kind of talked him into doing it. She said, "Look, I'll even make you an outfit to wear."
She made him an outfit, made him a cowboy shirt, and got him going down that cowboy path.
Yeah, he overcame his
extreme shyness. Now, after a while, he joined a music group called
the Rocky Mountaineers.
The Rocky Mountaineers, and then after the Rocky Mountaineers,
he joined the
Pioneers. But I think he was told that they all looked too young to be called Pioneers.
No, you're getting ahead of the story there.
No,
it's the Rocky Mountaineers. Then it was the Obaro Cowboys. Then those guys toured around to places like.
They made a little bit of money, but they also traveled around Brownfield and Littlefield.
I think they disbanded around
Lubbock.
Lubbock.
Right.
And then it was there that him, Bob Nolan, and Tim Spencer, they formed the Pioneers. The Pioneers, it was the Pioneers. And then the story really starts kicking into overdrive because these guys started getting popular. They started traveling out wider and wider from the area that they were in. and they started getting better and better airplay. And then, folks, the story is just now getting started. So let's get back to the show, and we'll talk more about the life and legend of Mr. Roy Rogers, the king of the
Cowboys.
Right here on Draw Western Theater. Deal them up there, Wardell.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi.
Gonna stick around for the big horse race? Who do you think will win? The world's fastest dog or the world's fastest horse?
You better bet on my side, Carolyn. Tramp told me he was ready. Didn't you, Tramp? You can be the official starter, Cousin Cookie.
Sure.
Cousin?
Oh, now, wait a minute, Roy. You can tell by looking at him, he's not one of us. We were bigger than that when we were born. Now, get in there and start the race. Go on, go on. Get on your marks. Get set. Go.
Come on, boy.
Come on, Tramp! Come on!
Come on, Trigger. Think of your reputation. Come on, Trigger.
Come on! Come on! Run!
Come on, boy.
Come on, Tramp!
Come on, Trigger.
Come on, Tramp! Come on! He's going back to the home stretch.
Well, he'd better hurry up. This is the home stretch.
Attaboy, Trigger. See, I told you so.
Well, Trigger won, but it was fair and square. But I'm not mad at you. Come on, Tramp. Come on, Tramp.
Tramp, that was a good try.
Roy,
Mm-hmm.
you know why Trigger won?
Why?
Because you can holler, come on, louder than I can.
Trigger's legs are a little bit longer, too. How about taking a long ride on the winner?
Hi, Pop.
Roy, boy, how be you? Glad to see you back.
Good to see you, too, Pop.
Hiya, Ted. Is everything okay?
Well, sure, like. I'm fine. Roy's giving me a job on the ranch.
This is Elijah McFarland, the boy's step-pop.
Hi, how are you? That's mighty nice of you, Mr. Rogers. I'm pretty busy, and Ted and I have been batching, and sometimes he gets a little on line, but if he wouldn't be in your way...
Always room for one more.
You mean I can stay? You're not mad at me for...
Run away? No, no.
There won't be any more running away, will they, Ted? I'll see that he scrubs behind his ears.
You know, that's mighty handsome of you, Miss Carolyn. The woman's influence will probably do the boy a lot of good.
So this is the famous Trigger.
Roy, I won't apologize for that cowpoke of mine slugging that horse. I fired him as soon as I found out about it.
Tramp!
Yeah, you thieving mongrel, come back here,
Please, Pop. Please, I'll get it.
Just a minute, Ted. Take it easy, Pop.
Why, he's just a puppy. Let him have his fun.
Be a good boy, Ted. Do what Mr. Rogers tells you. There's your stuff.
By the way, you know you're both invited to Roy's anniversary broadcast tonight, don't you?
We'll be there sure, Miss Caroline, or bust a cinch. 10 years, huh? Boy, we'll put on a wingding.
It's so pretty, I kind of hate to cut it.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This beautiful anniversary cake here on the table in front of us is too beautiful to cut. But we've got to get on with the proceedings here. So while the guests in the ranch living room are being served this anniversary cake, we're going to call upon Roy to give us one of the songs that helped make him King of the Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, Roy Rogers.
Dust, dust in the skies, dust on the trail, dust in my eyes. Dust, dust, can't see the sun, can't find my way. The dust has won, the cattle and the sheep bedded down to sleep, seem to realize their fate. The vultures in the sky know the time is nigh. Will they fly away or wait? Oh Lord, please ease my pain. Oh Lord, where is your rain and sunshine? Dust, dust, must it be? Can this be eternity, oh Lord? Have mercy on for me. Oh Lord, please ease my pain. Oh Lord, where is your rain and sunshine? Dust, dust, must it be? Can this be eternity, oh Lord? Have mercy on for me.
Well, folks, that kind of brings to a close our little get-together for this evening. So until we meet again, this is Roy Rogers saying goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Thanks, Roy. We return you now to our main studios.
There he is. Not that way. He'll kick your brains out. Rope that mare and lead her out. He'll follow her. Well, Ted, that's a pretty good-sized piece of cake you got there.
Yeah, you ought to get yourself some.
Yeah, we will. Say, where'd you get that fancy shirt?
Oh, it's Roy's. He loaned it to me for the party, but he says I'll grow into it.
Say, that looks fit to eat. Let's grab us a hunk.
I bet you Trigger'd like some. Let's go see.
Something to happen to Trigger and your friend Rogers, you're going to keep your little mouth shut. Get that?
Yes, sir.
You just came down here and Trigger was gone. That's all. You never saw anybody, remember?
No, sir. I didn't.
That's a smart boy. If you ever crack one word, I'll shoot your head off. Don't forget that. And that goes for your friend Rogers and Trigger. Don't try and holler for help, because I'll be right outside the door.
About Roy and Trigger? I don't dare tell on him.
The search for Trigger is being continued by plane, automobile, and horse, and the sheriff has announced that no stone will be left unturned in the hunt. Although it is feared that Trigger has been stolen and may be held for ransom, no contact has yet been made with the abductors.
They'll be contacted soon enough. We'll let them stew in their own juice for a while.
Not bad at all for a green hand. As the feller says, that ought to do it. We got Trigger. You can have him back for $100,000. A dead horse is no good to you or me. Have money in small bills. Instructions will follow. Act fast and don't fool around.
Sounds like Ed wrote it.
Sure, that's the way we want to sound. Might as well bring him in. There's no use in watching any longer. I guess we're safe now.
One of our boys just pulled out? Yeah, that was Joe. And he took plenty of grub to the cabin for the boys so they can stay there for a long time without showing themselves.
Trigger okay?
Yeah.
That's good. We don't want nobody coming or going from there any more than we can help. Somebody's apt to spot us. Here, mail this letter for me.
$100,000? I think that's too much. Why don't we ask for 10 and get it?
That ain't good horse trading. Why ask for a little when you can get a lot?
And you ain't getting your cut for thinking. All right.
Howdy, partners. Welcome back to Draw Western Theater. I brought a little something to show all y'all. They're exhibition cards of Roy Rogers. Y'all want to see these?
Oh, look at that. Now, at this point in our story, Roy was still called Leonard Franklin Sly.
But Roy and the Son of the Pioneers toured all over when the times were tough. But they soon gathered a very large following.
Well, they were originally called the Pioneer Trio, but right before they went out on stage, the guy said, "You look way too young to be pioneers," so you became the Sons of the Pioneers.
Yes.
And they stuck with them.
I mean, can you imagine right before they went on stage, he said, "You boys are too young. I think I'll call you the Sons of the Pioneers." Just like that, their name changed. That's amazing.
It's kind of fast for a name to change.
During some of that early tour, Roy, well, I guess I should say Leonard, married very young. You know, and his first wife, they weren't married very long. I can't even recall her name. They separated really early, and then
he met another woman.
The way he met his new woman was while they were on tour. A lady called into the radio show, and she said that if he would sing a Swedish yodel, that she would bake them a pie and bring it to the studio. And Roy was like, money was tight. They didn't get many good meals, and he would do anything for a pie.
Yeah, he said, I don't care what she would have asked me to sing. If we'd have got a pie out of it, he said,
he would have sung it. So, she was true to her word. He sang it for her. She brought him a pie, and they kind of hit it off and started staying in touch.
And that was Grace Arlene Watkins.
Watkins, right.
And they got married, I think, in June of 36.
In 36.
So they met over a call-in radio show to bring him a pie.
Right.
Well, also, they had two big hits that are still known really well today. One of them is the Tumbling Tumbleweeds.
Oh, Tumbling Tumbleweeds,
and Cool Water.
Cool Water. Those are two hits that even people, all country western artists still know today. And that was the Sons of the Pioneers when they were back doing those radio days back in the 30s.
Right.
Yes.
And after, of course, once they got their popularity, they started getting more and more airplay. And then Decca Records picked them up. And once Decca Records picked them up, then Hollywood started taking notice. So they started actually hiring them to play, it'd be a western, and they would have a band of pioneers to play in the background of a movie. And so that's how Roy Rogers and the other guys first got onto movie sets, was playing in backgrounds of different western movies.
Well, we're going to continue watching the movie, so get some popcorn and sit on the couch, and we'll see you back in a few.
Well, I called the studio today, and they've arranged to have the $100,000 here the first thing in the morning. I've got a hunch it's somebody that knows us pretty well. It was such a smooth job,
They must have been watching us all the time.
If we had just one clue, if Ted had gotten there a second sooner, he could have had a good look at them.
Yeah. How was the kid?
Not so good. He had quite a scare. He wouldn't go to bed till I told him what was in the ransom note. Then the part about Trigger really upset him.
Maybe I better go have a talk with him. How about a lullaby, Cookie?
Sure.
What's the matter, Ted? Can't sleep?
No, Roy.
I understand. I'm having the same trouble. How you doing, Tramp? Hmm? Good boy. Here, let me give you a hand. Ted, are you sure you told me everything you saw at the barn that night?
Uh-huh. Everything.
What's the matter?
Splitter.
I can fix that. You know, Ted, anything you can remember might give me a clue. You want to get Trigger back, don't you?
Oh, yes, more than anything.
Hurting you? Ted, there's boys all over the world who would like to help me right now. But you're the only one who can. If you know anything, anything at all, don't be afraid to tell me.
I will. I want to tell the truth.
Sure you do. If everybody would tell the truth, this would be a much better world to live in. You try to go to sleep.
Sure, Roy.
Don't worry about a thing. They're not worrying or they wouldn't be singing.
Mi compañero de montaña es tiempo de dormir. Ya se metió el sol, se oscureció. Y las estrellas ya murmuran, duerme, duerme bien. Te cubren con su manto, duerme bien.
What's that mean?
It means
it's time you hit the trail to dreamland, little saddle pal. So saddle up your bronc and drift away. It's time you rode into the shadows, little saddle pal. For your work's over for another day. Dream about a golden palomino, taking you to Never, Never Land. Maybe you will find a long-lost gold mine or capture a rustler band. It's time you hit the trail to dreamland, little saddle pal. Saddle up your bronc and drift away.
you better go back with him. He needs you. Thanks for the help, fellas. Did the trick.
Made me sleepy, too. Think I'll turn in and save my strength for tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. Don't anybody move. Nobody's gonna get hurt. I just want to talk to you.
What about?
I know where Trigger is.
Trigger?
And it won't cost you $100,000 to find out. 10,000's my price.
How can you prove it?
I thought you'd ask that. Take a look at this.
Doesn't necessarily prove anything. A lot of horses have white manes and tails. Where is he?
First, the 10,000.
Okay, you'll get it. But first...
Saddle up!
Listen.
I wonder why they shot him.
Because he was double-crossing them.
Double-crossing who?
I wish I knew.
We haven't got a chance at...
Morning, Sheriff. Morning, John. You're right on time.
You've been sitting here all night?
No, I trust the bars on the window and the burglar alarm.
Well, I guess that 100,000 in the vault would buy the place.
Yeah, I guess so would.
Ted, I'll be in the bank for a while. Go over and get yourself an ice cream cone.
Thanks, Roy. Come on, Tramp.
Oh, it's you again. Nice tramp, nice tramp.
Hi, Pop.
Howdy, son.
Where's Roy?
Oh, hi, Lige. He just went in the bank. Somebody shot Ed last night up at the ranch.
Well, you don't say.
Yeah. He was just about to tell us where Trigger was when they shot him in the back. You supposed to hurt Trigger?
Oh, as long as they get the money, I think the horse will be safe.
If they don't, it'll probably be the end of them.
Well, Roy's in the bank now getting $100,000.
Well, in that case, Ted, you ain't got anything to worry about. Sit on Pappy's knee and I'll tell you all about it. You see, it's like this. Roy goes into the bank. He gets the $100,000. He gives it to these folks. And Trigger's okay.
Sure. That's all they gotta do is give the money to the people that did this. Are they treating you all right up there, Ted?
Sure, Lige.
Well, that's good. If they don't, you just let me know.
Come on, Tramp.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hi, Sheriff.
Hello, Roy.
I guess you can see I got the money.
Yeah, the studio shipped it in last night by special messenger. My duty to check up on things like that.
Going someplace?
Mm-hmm. Taxpayers think it's a good idea if I went along for protection.
Well, I'm a taxpayer, and I think it's a pretty good idea, too. Let's go. Hey, is Pop Jordan selling ice cream cones now?
No, Roy. I wasn't hungry. So I went over to say hello to Pop and Lige.
Oh? Well, come on, get in.
Welcome back to Draw Western Theater.
Now, where were we? We were talking about Roy Rogers.
Well, he just got, it was 1936, and he was just married. So, also in 1936, though, you had Gene Autry. You know, he was the king of the cowboys.
Wasn't he the biggest Western star in the world at that time?
He was. In 1936, he was the king. He was the king of Western movies.
But he also was working for the Republic Pictures. This studio was notoriously cheap. Paying stars was one of the corners they usually cut.
Oh, yeah. They were making a lot of money, but he wasn't making the money.
Oh, exactly. I mean, Gene Autry was, like I said, he was the #1 star in the world as far as Westerns. Yes. And when his contract came up for renewal, Gene Autry decided, he said, you know what? I'm going to ask what I'm worth. Knowing Republic Pictures, being as cheap as they are, would probably say no.
Right.
And they did. So what happened? Gene Autry went off, formed his own company.
And then Republic Pictures needed a new, fresh face Western star.
They did, and they started looking around to see, and they started holding auditions. And Leonard Sly
chosen, but the name was not a Western star name, so they changed it to Roy Rogers.
Now, where they got Roy Rogers from is kind of interesting. You know that? Now, at that time,
I do know that Roy means king.
Means king.
Roy means king.
And Rogers they got from Will Rogers, because Will Rogers had just recently died in a plane crash with Wiley Post.
Right.
So the name Roy Rogers literally means
King Rogers.
King Rogers. So he was on his way, even before he became King of the Cowboys, he was named King of the Cowboys. Now, of course, now we've got his name. And we've got this good-looking young guy with a great singing voice, because we had to have a great singing voice, because that's what Gene Autry did. Now he needed a horse. So when we come back, folks, it's time for Roy Rogers to find him a horse. All right, where are we at, guys?
Hey, you don't be quiet out this evening. Say, but ain't the moon a shining bright? Birds just out there fluttering, and no one a word is uttered under California stars. Hi, Carolyn. Gee, I'm sure missing my big opportunity. I was going to sell Roy a song for his next picture, but Trigger's got me so upset that boots and saddles just sound like a lot of work.
Sounded kind of pretty to me.
Hey, here's something that came in the mail that looks plenty interesting.
It looks just like the other one.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, Roy. Roy, this just came. I think it's from the same fellas. Well, open it.
What's it say?
Trigger's safe. Follow instructions carefully. Be at Twin Rocks tomorrow at sunup with money. Put in saddlebags, turn horse loose. If you follow, you will be shot, and so will Trigger. Well, at least Trigger's safe. And we know what to do.
Yes, if you can believe them.
I'll sure be glad to see that horse again.
You see, Ted, by tomorrow we'll have Trigger back.
I think the money will be safe here till tomorrow, Sheriff. If anything goes wrong, I'll give you a buzz.
If I were you, Roy, I wouldn't bother. Because we're going to forget about this ransom note and not pay the money.
No, wait a minute, Sheriff. Trigger means more to me than any amount of money.
I'm sorry, Roy, but there's more to this than just getting Trigger back. A man's been murdered, and there may be more. That money stays right where it is. There's still law and order in this county, and the apprehension of murderers and blackmailers come first. Can't you see if we let this bunch of outlaws get away with this, it will only serve to encourage them and others to pull the same trick again. No one will be safe.
But these men are dangerous. They'll kill Trigger if they don't get their money.
Yeah, but the money's...
Naturally, I'm going to do all I can to prevent that. And I'll need help from all of you.
I think you can count on us.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I guess I just didn't realize. You know how much Trigger means to me. But if that's the way you want it, that's the way it's got to be. What's your plan?
That's the spirit. Round up your boys and have them meet me here tonight. Now, here's the plan I have in mind. By daylight tomorrow morning, we'll all be staked out in a big circle around Twin Rocks. When Roy turns the horse loose with the fake money, one of us will be able to keep our eye on him at all times without following him and jeopardizing Trigger. Give the horse a good start and follow him at a safe distance. If anything happens, fire a shot and we'll all come running. Understood?
Good.
All right, saddle up. Roy, don't forget your little package.
I won't. Hey, Pat, saddle up for me, will you?
Shadows come and go while the western breezes blow under California stars. From far across the valley comes a lonesome cowboy.
package of fake money you asked me to make up is in the drawer. You got time to try a chorus?
Why not?
Say, but ain't it peaceful out tonight? Say, but ain't the moon a-shining bright? Robin's in his nest and the countryside's at rest under California stars. Well, just hear the crickets chiming out, and the restless herd is moving by. Shadows come and go while the western breezes blow under California stars. From far across the valley comes a lonesome cowboy song. He's waiting for the daybreak when he'll up and move along. Well, say, but ain't it peaceful out tonight? Seems like all the world is feeling right. No, you will agree it's the only place to be under California stars.
Say, that's all right.
Did you really like the song, Roy?
Song? Oh, sure.
Did you like it enough to use it in your next picture?
Well, it wasn't bad.
Oh, gee, then you'll use it. Oh, that's swell.
Well, wait a minute. Who wrote it?
A relative. A cousin of mine by the name of Bullfincher. Cookie Bullfincher.
I enjoyed that, Roy.
Gee, it was beautiful.
You think so, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You're fired.
Oh, Roy, you can't fire me. My cousins won't let you. And besides, what for?
For writing songs on ranch time.
You little tattletale, I'll get you. Roy, honest, I did it on spare time, so help me, I did.
From now on, you'll have a lot of spare time.
Oh.
In Hollywood, writing songs for me.
Roy.
Oh, Cookie. Cookie, come too. You're going to be famous.
Oh. Hollywood, swimming pool, lights, and girls. Yeah.
We better get started.
Oh,
get the daylight.
Get a block practice. Oh, my hat.
Cookies up there.
Straight ahead, Roy. Bob will pick him up.
He's around here someplace and he's got the money.
Light should have been here a long time ago. We'd better get Trigger inside.
I guess we have.
Hey, fellas, give us a hand. Bring some ropes and the whip.
It's fake. I thought Rogers was smarter than that, knowing we still got Trigger. But we won't have him long, because now they force us to get rid of him.
Hey, what's going on here? Don't do that. Where's the They oughtn't to do that to us. Well, Trigger, old feller, it looks like they let you down. Lige, I guess you was right. Better do your stuff. All right, boys, get your shovels. We've got to bury the evidence.
Ted, you crippled little... How did you get in here?
Nobody's with me, Lige. I'm alone.
Well, how did you know where we were?
I figured when Ed was killed that you had something to do with Trigger. So I followed Pop here.
The ransom money.
A real McCoy. Where'd you get it, Ted?
The chicken from Roy's desk. I knew you wanted it.
Well, I'll be dad burned if you ain't the smartest young'un in the whole wide West.
Ted, I knew old Lige's training would show up on you sooner or later. From now on, we're working together. Isn't that right, boys?
You betcha.
And this money's going to give us a good start.
What about Trigger?
Stay away from him, Ted. He's a killer.
He won't hurt me, Lige. Will you, Trigger? I missed you a lot.
All right, boys, pack up. We're pulling out of here.
Well, how did it go?
It didn't. I'm sorry, Roy, but they'll contact us again. They want that money.
Well, at least we still have the money to give them. I sure hate to tell Ted. Ted must be in the barn.
Yeah.
Ted? So that's where you've been hiding your loot. Tramp, you're a regular thief. Ted's handkerchief. Somebody's boot. Pop's glove. Wonder what this is. Looks like something's been cut out of here. The ransom note.
For a couple of hours.
There's your evidence.
I don't believe it. Do you, Roy?
It was Pop and Lige who stole Trigger and killed Ed, all right. Tramp must have taken this from Pop's office the day Ted went to visit him. That was the day I picked up the money at the bank.
So now they have Trigger and the $100,000.
Well, the kid's gone. There's no doubt about that. But why did he leave Tramp?
I don't know. They were pretty smart, sending the boy here to spy on you. And then when he saw how things were going, skip out with the money.
Tramp seems to think you're wrong, Sheriff.
What are we going to do now?
Wait for another contact is all we can do.
We're not waiting for anything, Sheriff. Tramp, come here. Tramp, you never left Ted for anything unless you went to steal something. Now go find him for me, will you? Go find him.
Settle up.
As long as we got the ransom money, why worry about Trigger? We'll just leave him here and they'll find him. We're taking the North Trail.
You said as soon as you got the money that Roy could have Trigger back.
That was yesterday. A lot of things have happened around here since then.
Hey, how about me? I can't move.
Don't worry, Glenn. We'll fix up something to take you down to the doctor's. Fix up a litter for him, boys.
Okay, Pop.
All right, Ted. Hey, fellas, get them horses out of the brush. But never mind the stretcher for Glenn. He won't be needing one. All right, keep her going. Why, you're getting to be a regular young scallywag. What's the matter with you? Oh, you bring him, Lige.
Where do you think you're going?
Lige, you said you didn't trigger.
Why, of course not.
You mean you didn't?
Why, of course not.
Gee, thanks. But you can't leave Trigger in there and starve.
Don't worry, he won't starve, son.
It's smoke.
Trigger!
slow, Lige. He ain't a bad little sprout.
Why, that little...
And besides, you're slowing things up. Come on, let's hightail it.
Don't let him out.
Well, the old horse trader wound up with the money as usual.
Trigger's all right.
Thanks for taking me, Roy, but you shouldn't have done it. I was a bad boy. I took the money so I could get Trigger back. Honest, I did.
I know, Ted. It was Pop and Lige.
Rounded most of them up. Pop and Lige are still missing.
They took the North Trail. I heard them say so.
Take care of him, Cookie. He's been a brave boy. Oh, boy. I'm sure glad to see you, Trigger. We've got to hurry. We've got a date on the North Trail.
Nation's wrong with you, Lige, stopping me like this? You going plumb loco? We better get out of here.
Oh, I ain't going plumb loco. You would be trying to run out on me, would you, Pop?
I know. I give you the signal. I knew you were following me all the time. Let's split the money up and take different trails out of here.
Get your hands up. The sheriff will want to talk to you. Now I'll take that money. It's too bad a kid like Ted had to get himself mixed up with a no-good guy like you.
Just a minute, young fella.
Pop!
Attaboy, Pop.
Now, Pop, let him have it.
Sure, I'll let him have it. I'll let him have everything.
You know, Roy, trading horses all my life has learned me to drive a hard bargain. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad at you, Pop. I just...
Saber ain't it peaceful out tonight? Saber ain't the moon that's shining bright. Robin's in his nest and the countryside's at rest under California stars.
Well, Cousin Cookie says they'll all be back next year.
Yeah, and Ted will be able to walk just as good as anybody. Roy will get the best doctor in the country.
Is moving round. No, you will agree it's the only place to be under California stars. Under California stars.
We're back.
Yes, we are. Now, where did you say you got Roy from again?
Well, the name Roy came from, you get this meaning from the French word king. And they wanted him to be the king of the cowboys, of course.
And then, of course, Rogers comes from
Will Rogers, the famous comedian.
Will Rogers. So now we had a name. We had Roy Rogers. The Republic said, now we got to get him his outfits. They sent him over, got him all duded up, and Roy Rogers, of course, helped pick his outfit out and everything. Then he got those iconic dual 6-shooters. And then it was time for Roy Rogers to find a horse. So he goes and they lined up 5 horses that they had been renting. And Roy tried each horse. He sat on them and he walked around with them. But he said as soon as he sat on one particular horse, it was named Golden Cloud. He said as soon as he sat on Golden Cloud, it was like putting on a glove. Said he knew right away that this was his horse. And he said that they knew each other right away, like they had ridden together forever.
Well, this was a famous movie horse anyway. I mean, it was the horse that Olivia de Havilland rode in The Adventures of Robin Hood with Errol Flynn.
With Errol Flynn, that iconic movie too. I forgot, that's right.
What kind of horse was Golden Cloud?
It was a...
Palomino.
Palomino, yes.
Well, I guess any Palomino is a Palomino.
Roy was...
Oh, did you get that joke?
Yeah, that was dark.
Good thing he's got money.
I'm glad he's got that gold.
Yeah. Doesn't have to make a living as a comedian.
But Roy was putting the horse through a series of tricks and moves.
Now, I think he was doing that with actor Smiley Burdette.
Smiley Burdette. That brings me to the next thing that I was going to say. Smiley Burdette mentioned to Roy that the horse sure is quick like on the trigger. Roy Rogers now had the name for his horse.
He had the name for his horse. As soon as he heard that horse is quick on the trigger, that horse became Trigger. So now Roy Rogers, or I should say, Leonard Franklin Sly became Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers and Trigger.
And Trigger.
And I guess you would say Trigger is one of the top 3 Western horses. Like you got Silver, Tornado, Zorro, and then Trigger.
But now there are those that argue that it was the other way around, that Trigger was the top horse of all time. As far as marketing, for sure, Trigger sold more of everything.
They became synonymous with each other. When you mentioned Roy Rogers, you mentioned Trigger.
They did, though. And the thing is, though, Roy was now at the beginning of his career. He was getting ready to make his first movie with Republic Pictures.
Right, it was Under the Western Stars.
Yeah,
Under the Western
it was
Stars.
a hit, and Roy Rogers' career was taking off.
And it took off big. Try to imagine, guys, just a few short years later, Roy Rogers would be the #1 box office star, Western star from 1942 to 1954.
The thing was, the audiences loved
They
Roy
loved it.
Rogers
But-
and Trigger together.
And not bad for a guy who had to be pushed on the stage by his sister. So, folks, we hope you've enjoyed watching this Roy Rogers classic with us. And we'll hope we're just barely getting Roy Rogers' story started. We're in 1940. This doesn't even talk about the merchandising. Gene Autry showed, and Hopalong Caskey showed how to do merchandising. But nobody was better at merchandising and promoting himself than Roy Rogers.
There's only one person, and that was Walt Disney himself.
And at that time, there was only one other person in the world who had his name on more products than Roy Rogers, and that was Walt Disney. Isn't that amazing? And we've not even got into Dale Evans yet.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of these stars, man, they had such great careers and long careers. It's hard to squeeze them into a one episode show.
Well, and so we're going to do another Roy Rogers show because I want to have another reason to wear my shirt.
I can't think of any other reason to wear it.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, tell you what.
We got to wrap this up, and we'll see you next time.
We want to thank you folks for joining us. Come back next week, and we'll deal you in for another episode of Draw Western Theater.
Wait.
Kid wants to drink out of his Roy Rogers cup. Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers.
King of the Cowboys.
80s tasting.
All right, let's play some cards.
Got a hearty plastic taste to it, I'm sure.
That's called 1950s dust.
Has that not been cleaned in like 60 years?
I'd say that's the first liquid that's seen in it.
Hear the bells of Coronado softly ring across the desert sand, and the bells of Coronado bring me back across the Rio Grande.
Here's something excitingly new in Western thrills, with Roy pitting his wits and courage against the killer cunning of the most dangerous of men, outlaws who turn traitors.
Hey, it's the chief.
Put out the light.
Sure, boss, sure.
We've got to get that second shipment of ore before we can fulfill our part of the deal.
What in the world is that? It's a Geiger counter. Used to locate radioactive minerals, such as uranium.
Say, it sure is popping now. Listen.
What?
Bennett's in jail. Rogers filed a complaint this afternoon charging him with the murder of Perez and stealing the uranium ore. After what he's done to Bennett, I got a hunch there's going to be one insurance investigator less around here.
Don't shoot! I want him alive!
And now here it is, folks. Post's Grape Nuts Flakes, the great 2-minute energy cereal. And the king of the cowboys himself stepping right off the front of the package.
It's a fact, buckaroos. Grape Nuts Flakes is the cereal I eat for strength and energy. That's why my picture's on the front of the package. And you can take it from me, being a cowboy takes lots of energy. Take the time I went after a deputy sheriff who actually was a crook.
I had to ride Trigger hard to catch up with him and then to pull him off his horse. It was a tough fight and I really needed energy. Right then is when I had to draw on every bit of energy I had.
And that's why I eat Post Grape Nuts Flakes. It's just chock full of energy.
Yes, sir. Roy Rogers likes those swell-tasting Grape Nuts Flakes because their whole wheat energy starts going to work for him just 2 minutes after he eats a big, malty-rich bowlful. And that's just what Grape Nuts Flakes will do for you. So if you want to be king of the cowboys in your corral, eat plenty of Grape Nuts Flakes, the 2-minute energy cereal with the picture of Roy Rogers and Trigger on the package. Grape Nuts Flakes is one of the triple-wrap Post cereals, guaranteed fresh or triple your money back.
Remember those Grape Nuts Flakes? How about asking Mom to get you a package tomorrow? That's the cereal I eat for strength and energy.
Get a package of Grape Nuts Flakes tomorrow.
You know, you can travel from Montana to Texas and hit all the states between, but you'll never find better singers to tell the story of the West than the Sons of the Pioneers.
Way up high in Sierra Nevada, close to heaven, that's where I want to be. Clouds drift by in Sierra Nevada, where my true love is there waiting for me. Will I find my love waiting with teardrops in her eyes for a lover who's been too long away? Or will this trail I'm riding bring an end to all her sighs? For this time I'm coming back to stay way up high in Sierra Nevada. I'll drift by my true love and me. Will I find my love waiting with teardrops in her eyes for a lover who's been too long away? Or will this trail I'm riding bring an end to all her sighs? For this time I'm coming back to stay way up high in Sierra Nevada. Clouds drift by my true love and me.
Better than a birthday. Now, from Post Cereals, not one, but 2 free bonus offers. Bonus offer number 1 is for Mother and Dad. Sets of 4 lovely Grandma Moses prints in rich, warm colors ready for framing. These beautiful prints by one of America's most beloved artists depict the 4 seasons of the year. In many arrangements, these Grandma Moses prints will add new beauty to your home. Bonus offer number 2 from Post Cereals is for the youngsters. It's a full-color cardboard cutout set of Roy Rogers Double R Bar Ranch with lifelike cutouts of Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, Pat Brady, Bullet, and Nellie Bell. 18 pieces in all. Here's how easy it is to get either or both of these grand bonus offers free. Look for the special box of Grape Nuts Flakes at your grocer's. All you need for either offer is this free bonus offer box top and 4 additional box tops from regular size Post Cereals. Send no money. Complete directions are printed on the back and side of the special Grape Nuts Flakes package. So tomorrow, take home the special package of Grape Nuts Flakes. Send for your Grandma Moses prints and your Roy Rogers cutouts right away.
your men better catch that phantom. I'm going to throw you in jail, and I'm going to make you eat every copy of that paper I can find.
You know, Sheriff, I think the Phantom horse is the same one the remount ordered destroyed.
When big-town hoodlums try their racketeering tricks on the ranchers, it takes Roy Rogers and his Wild West Wild Animal Carnival to show them how the West fights outlaws. And it doesn't matter whether the outlaws are horses or hoodlums.
May the good Lord take a liking to you. May He spread His blessings on your trail. May He be your guide anywhere you ride, and be always your host when you're needing Him most.
Looks like Rogers is putting 2 and 2 together, boss. And if he gets a hold of that white stallion,
he won't.
When the sun sets in the west, at the time that I love best. Now that day is nearly over, we're riding home through clover when it's sunset in the west.
This sun-drenched western border town breaks out with all kinds of violent, exciting action when Roy Rogers goes after racketeers ruthless enough to cold-bloodedly murder, daring enough to steal a train to transport their contraband. Guns for international outlaws.
You haven't heard the last of this, Rogers. I'll be back. Drop your guns! Throw your guns on the floor and get in the back room. Not you, Rogers. You're coming with me. Yeah, it is a good spot. All right, Rogers, what's the matter? You afraid of walking off a
Evening breeze blows the leaves around, while the brook lends a gentle sound, and this cowboy's heart is pining for the lights of old Santa Fe.
It's the rip-roaring West at its thrill-blazing best, when marauders of the Mesa do their darndest to destroy Gabby Hayes' rodeo show. Then, Roy and Trigger do their stuff. Lovely Dale Evans sings a song of love.
Nació de Dios